Good afternoon, children. Today we'll start with our new lesson, our third chapter, and this lesson is reproductive health. This lesson we'll learn about the total well-being in all aspects of reproduction. To begin with, we'll introduce many abbreviations. I have listed them into a table over here. I'll be sending you the copy in a file also. So we'll first learn the abbreviations and how in their expanded words we'll learn them. WHO, we know, World Health Organization. Second, RCH, which means Reproductive and Child Health Care. Third, MMR, Maternal Mortality Rate. Fourth, IMR, which means Infant Mortality Rate. STD, Sexually Transmitted Diseases. MCH, Maternal and Child Health. CDRI, Central Drug Research Institute. This is in our very city, Lucknow. IUDs, which means intrauterine devices. Intra means inside. MTP, Medical Termination of Pregnancy. ART, Assisted Reproduction Technologies. IUT, Intrauterine Transfer. ZIFT, Zygote Intrafallopian Transfer. GIFT, that is we call it ZIFT. The previous one, ZIFT, was ZIFT, and this is GIFT, GIFT. Just the word zygote becomes gamete. So this becomes gamete intrafallopian transfer. The rest of the words, they are the same. AI, artificial insemination. IUI, intrauterine insemination. ICSI, intracytoplasmic sperm injection. IVF, I'm sure you've heard of this. IVF, the complete term is ET, in vitro fertilization embryo transfer technique. This is also the other word for test tube baby. In vitro means in glass. I'll introduce these terms later in our definitions. CVS, chorionic villi sampling. RTIs, reproductive tract infections. VDs, which means venereal diseases. STDs, which we have sexually transmitted diseases. This is just a repeat, children. It's already done over here. So let's cut it at one place. Sexually transmitted diseases, we are already having at one place. So let's not repeat, that will cause confusion. HPV, human papilloma virus. VDRL, venereal disease research laboratory. ARC, AIDS related complex. AIDS, acquired immune deficiency syndrome. HIV, human immunodeficiency virus. AZT, azithromycin, which is a drug that is being tried against AIDS. I said tried because there is, as till date, no cure that has been confirmed for AIDS. So the medicines are just being tried. AIT, artificial insemination technique. PCR is polymerase chain reaction, which is a method to make billions of copies of a specific DNA sample by amplifying it. So there are many abbreviations. Please try to learn them by heart, children. The more you revise, the better you become with these terminologies. Some more to add. NACO, what we call, it is National AIDS Control Organization, and body, it was established in the year 1992. NCP, National Commission on Population. ELISA, Enzyme Linked Immunosorbent Assay. It is a test used to detect and measure antibodies in the blood sample of a person. ELISA is also a test to confirm AIDS disease in patients. Alright, coming next to certain terms that we will talk about, certain definitions. Maybe you're familiar with a few, but you need to be very, very specific and to the point. Reproductive health, that is the name of the lesson. What does it mean, children? According to WHO, this is the definition as per laid down. It is the total well-being in all aspects of reproduction, that is physical, emotional, social and behavioral. Then what is family planning, children? It's a set of programs and action plans initiated all over the world, including India, in the year 1951 to attain total reproductive health. Demography, I'm sure you've studied this earlier. It is the scientific study of human population that we call demography, and it deals with population in three aspects. That is, number one, changes in population size, two, composition of population, and three, distribution of population in space. The fourth term to introduce is birth control. The regulation of contraception by preventive measures or devices to limit the number of children is called birth control. Then a word that has come up, contraception, is our next word. It is a temporary or permanent measure to prevent pregnancy. By various devices, it's a temporary, sometimes permanent measure. Then there are two terms. Some of the people, they use it alternatively, like infertility and sterility, but they're having different meanings, children. They're not the same. Infertility is inability to conceive or produce children in spite of unprotected sexual cohabitation, that is. All right. So this is after we can say inability to produce children even after like unprotected sexual cohabitation. But sterility is complete inability to produce children. So that means in a sterile organism there will be just no chance of producing children, right? So, but infertile doesn't mean that it's a total ban on production of children. No, there is possibility children will be produced in an infertile organism. But sterile means there is just no chance. All right. Then, oligospermia, which means the condition of low sperm count. Azoospermia, which is near absence of live sperms. Another word, it's athenozoospermia, which means low sperm motility. Motility means movement. We'll talk of the swimming movements for fertilization. Then teratozoospermia, which is a defect in sperm structure. Cryptorchidism, which is failure of testes to descend into the scrotum. And hyperthermia, hyper means more temperature, hyper means higher. So this is the higher temperature in the scrotal sac due to tight undergarments. So these are certain abnormalities that are found in organisms or humans we're talking of precisely. So especially the males, we're talking of conditions of from point number 8 till 13. These are conditions seen in males. Coming further, we have techniques. Again, you're familiar. Vasectomy and tubectomy. I'll just remind you here, children, the term vas is just the word that has been taken from vas deferens in males. Whereas tubectomy, this is the word fallopian tube that has been taken for tubectomy. So vasectomy is the surgical removal of a part of vas deferens in males. So this is surgical and permanent method of not producing children in males. Whereas tubectomy is a surgical removal of a small part of fallopian tubes in a female. I'll just like to show you these by a diagram which will remind you. In class 10th you have studied. This is the vasectomy, in which this is the vas deferens. A portion of vas deferens is cut and ligated by nylon threads, and that is why it is called as vasectomy. On the contrary, if this is a tubectomy, the fallopian tube, there are portions that are cut, removed and ligated. So this is like, this will totally stop the egg from traveling up to the uterus. So this is like an inability to conceive permanently. Then in the chapter, children, or even later, you will come across these words et al, in vitro and in vivo. They're not mentioned very clearly, their meanings, but please write down. Et al means, it's an abbreviation of Latin phrase called et alia, which means and others. For example, sometimes you will see that the researchers are Paul et al. Et al means their team or people and others, something like that. All right. In vitro. In vitro means something that is performed in a non-living environment, especially test tube or a glass medium. So process performed in a test tube, a culture disc, or anywhere outside the living organism. In vivo, vivo means life. So that means something like in a living being, process performed in a living organism. So I hope you are very clear. This means in an artificial medium in glass, whereas vivo means in a living medium in a living organism. Some important dates to remember by heart. December 1 is the World AIDS Day. July 11th is the World Population Day. Retrovirus. This is a type of virus of the family Retroviridae, and a retrovirus inserts its genome into the host genome through reverse transcription in order to replicate. Example, HIV, right? So this is a term specially used. Retro means something that is made, a virus we can say. See, usually what happens, a DNA makes RNA on it and then it makes protein, right? The process of making of RNA on DNA, this is called as transcription, right? And making of proteins from RNA it's called as translation. But think of those organisms, children. Suppose there's an organism in which there is no DNA, right? But there is RNA. So in that case, RNA will first make DNA, which will now make RNA and then make proteins. I repeat. So usually I told you DNA makes RNA called as transcription, the process called transcription, and then RNA means proteins, makes proteins. This is called translation. But those organisms which have RNA, especially in some viruses, they make DNA. So making of RNA on DNA was transcription. So what is making of DNA on RNA called? It is called as reverse transcription. Because you are going just the other way. Instead of moving the right side of the equation, you are moving left side. You are making DNA on RNA. So this is reverse transcription. Again, the normal transcription will go on like the previous, making RNA on DNA and then the translation. So this is what we mean just by introducing a word here. When we say retrovirus, again read this. It's a type of virus of the family Retroviridae, and this inserts in the genome in the host through reverse transcription in order to replicate. That is, it will work by the mode 2, forming DNA by reverse transcription, then RNA and the protein. Okay, moving further. Prophylaxis is a prevention of diseases, a method of prevention of diseases. Sometimes you've heard this in vaccines. Sometimes we call it as prophylaxis, right? So next is epidemiology. It is mode of transmission of disease. Population explosion. It's a tremendous increase in size and growth rate of population. Census. It is an official counting of population and preparing data about age group, birth, death, sex ratio, education, profession, etc. So census, children, it's like a counting of population which is held every 10 years in our country, right, to find the population pattern. Family planning, we have already seen how it was started previous over here. We just now saw in the year 1951. It was started world over. Then India also took an active part by plans and initiations of activities. Here, definition. It is a program aimed at limiting the size of family by spacing the birth of children and prevention of some conceptions. So that means 1 or 2 children present in a family and putting a check to the further children that will be born. Lactational amenorrhea. It will be introducing a term later on just now, but lactational means a period of intense milk production in a mother who has given birth to the newly born child, and especially for a period of 6 months there will be a stoppage of menstrual cycle. So just after the parturition there is absence of menstruation, that is a menstrual flow, right? And this is called as amenorrhea, that is no blood flow, and this is intense lactation. So this is a term specially important for reproductive health, because during these months of especially 6 months around, there will be least chances of conceiving by the mother. So this is method effective only for 6 months after parturition. You remember parturition, the other meaning of parturition is childbirth, right? The other meaning would be childbirth. And just after the childbirth, for 6 months, again I'll tell you, lactational means intense milk production by the mother for the newly born, and amenorrhea means no menstrual flow. So this is a period where the normal conceiving will not be very easily held up and least chances of becoming conceived or pregnant. Coming next would be certain terms, certain headings that we are going to start. Problems related to reproductive health. In a country like ours, children, we have divided in your textbook also. I'll just like to show you, which I'll be sending you. See, problems related to reproductive health. If we talk, here I just listed down the topics in a point-wise fashion. Let us study from our textbook. What are the actual problems when we talk about the reproductive health in a country like ours? In India, especially when we talk of first point, taboos, there are many religions, traditions and societies that they set up like and do not permit the knowledge about family planning. So this is one problem that is very prevalent and is ranked number 1, that will not help the awareness about family planning and reproductive health to children. Second, early marriage. Children are married very early, as soon as they attain the puberty. Third, kid parents. Some children are themselves in childhood and they become parents, right? So this is like before they reach adulthood, they give birth to young children. Then, career. Early marriages stop the couple from, let's say, selecting good careers, especially the females who have to give up the entire studies, etc. for the household, and also the males who get under the responsibility of earning money. Teenage mothers who may not be physically fit to bear the child and nurture them properly, because children that are born to young mothers is our next point. Deformities. Their deformities are more common in children born to parents that are married early. Next is MMR and IMR, that is maternal mortality. Mortality means death, right? The death rate of mothers or the death rate of infants, that means newly born. Remember children, life cycle of any person is divided into 4 phases: infancy, childhood, adolescence and adulthood. So the period of 0 to 2 years is infancy, 2 to 12 years is childhood, 12 to 18 is adolescence, and 18 till death is adulthood. So when we say infant, means we're talking of the child between 0 to 2 years of his age. Then personal hygiene. Couples who are married early and uneducated couples hardly have any knowledge of personal hygiene and of the reproductive health. Health of ladies, due to poor diet or lack of care, especially the ladies are weak and anemic and prone to several diseases. Population growth. There's been a recent surge or explosion in population growth due to lack of knowledge and also no measures to control the growing population. So that was the entire thing. As I told you, the problems related to reproductive health. The same thing I've just jotted down in point-wise manner, explanations we've just now held. Next comes as the strategies, or that means methods or ways related to reproductive health. That is, what are the strategies or plans that we can talk about the reproductive health? Like so and so are the problems. Then what can be the methods to deal with the problems? Number 1, by family planning programs, audio, video, other media, there should be awareness imparted, or people should be made aware about reproductive health. Second, about especially the general awareness about reproduction. It should be by the involvement of government and various NGOs in creating awareness among people. Sex education. Third, in schools or in colleges, children should be made aware about sex-related problems, reproductive organs, or changes in adolescence, etc. Birth control devices and care of mother and child. Couples should be taught about the reproductive age and youth in marriageable age and various birth control devices, postnatal care of mother and child, and importance of mother's milk, etc. Various STDs. Point number 5. STDs for which there have been no cure till date, like AIDS. People should be made aware about the measures, how we can avoid them, or what are the side effects or symptoms. Population explosion. Awareness also needs to be created about various problems due to uncontrolled population, like abuse into social evils or sex-related crimes, etc. Pregnancy, premarital sexual intercourse without contraceptives. They should be made aware to the children or the adolescent, and the girls, how they face humiliation or disrespect or suffer from self-esteem, all that should be made aware. Then coming to information about reproduction and problems related. Some experts should be taken the help of in this field, professional expert knowledge, and they should be needed to solve problems of infertility, pregnancy, contraception, or sexually transmitted diseases, etc. Ban on fetal sex determination. In a country like ours, children, there's a total ban on amniocentesis. We'll talk about this technique in later part of the chapter. This is a technique to know the fetal sex based on chromosome pattern. Also in the study through amniotic fluid, that is strictly banned in a country like India, right, for misuse. Knowledge of social evils related to sex, awareness about harmful social and psychological effects of various abuses, all that should be discussed with the adolescents. Marriageable age, the minimum age for boys 21 and girls 18, that has been done, and child marriages have been banned in India. Research, various fields of researches should be encouraged, right, and also to improve the ones that are already existing. So again, as we discussed, children, these were the strategies or the methods related to reproductive health. Coming further to reasons of high population growth in India. What are the actual reasons that India ranks number 2 in the world with 1.3 billion population? We'll see the figures just now, how we stand with 1.3 billion, just second to China, which is 1.4 billion. And according to the latest researches of UN, by 2024, the country will overtake or surpass China in the number of population. So let's see the actual reasons for population growth in India. The reasons that we talk about, let's discuss them first. Number 1, decline in death ratio. That is, due to so much of advancement in the medical facilities, the death ratio, whether in infants or in mothers, has declined to a sharp level. Second, it is slower decline in birth rate. Deaths are decreasing, but births are not decreasing. Births are at the same rate, right? Then the decline again, because the neonatal departments nowadays are very well developed. The newly born children are more children that are surviving than being dead. Longer lifespan, the third point, people are living for a more average number of years than earlier. Advancement in agriculture, high yielding varieties of plants, disease resistant varieties, etc. that are being used nowadays, they have added. Facilities for storage of food. Due to better storage and transport facilities of food, right, less conditions of drought and famine conditions are there nowadays, and therefore better chances for people to survive. Government efforts to ensure food supply by introduction of public distribution systems, right, etc. Control on epidemics. Nowadays, of course, if we don't talk about today's scenario about the pandemic that has occurred with the COVID-19, right, otherwise there was a control on epidemics in the recent past for longer lifespan of people. Religious beliefs. Traditional beliefs in many communities do not permit adoption of small family norms. That is according to, against certain religions, they don't adopt family planning measures. Lack of education. Literacy rates in women especially has brought awareness about benefits of small family. So educated people understand what are the benefits of small family and the children, but uneducated class, they don't understand. Early marriages. Despite the ban on childhood marriage, early marriage is still practiced in villages, and that's of course the reason for rise in sharp increase in population. Poor access to contraceptive services. In remote areas, availability of these devices is not maintained easily, and therefore rise in population. So that was the gist of these 3 topics on the page that I have just point-wise done it, children. I hope you have understood, and because I'll be sending you the textbook pages so you can go through, there's just reading to understand them. Then let's talk about our next topic, which we have consequences or results of overpopulation. If we have just now seen that population explosion, right? If we talk about the figures of population explosion, children, you'll be surprised to see how fast the figures have been rising. This is the figures of population. These are the figures of Indian figures in population, and here the world figures. In India, that is undivided India before partition, 1901, it was 238 million. At the time of partition, Indians were 350 million. May 2000, the population crossed 1 billion mark. May 2011, it was 1.21 billion. 2012, 1.22 billion. And 2014, 1.27 billion. On an average, there are about 51 births per minute in India. Every minute, you can understand, 51 new children are being born. Every 6th person in the world is an Indian. And in the last 100 years, India's population has grew 5 times. So you can imagine how fast the rate is multiplying. And the estimations say by 2050, we'll be around 1.6 billion. Alright. The world figures, if we see, 1900, the world population was 2 billion. That's around 2000 million. 2001, 6 billion. And October 31st, 2011, the world population was 7 billion. During last 100 years, the world population has rose more than 3 times. Look at this. The world population grew more than 3 times, whereas population in India in last 100 years has increased around more than 5 times, around 5 times. India on an average has 18% of world population with only 2.4% of land area. So with this, we can definitely say that population explosion, it's something like an unchecked, or we can say a tremendous rise in population, looking at the figures in our country, which is very, very alarming, and certainly something must be dealt, because the consequences which we'll study just now of overpopulation will be really very scary. So what are the consequences? The first is food scarcity. We'll talk from here. The same things as I told you, 9 points, right? We'll talk about here. The first problem with overpopulation will be so many people will not get availability of food to help them survive. Then pressure on land. There will be more pressure on land resources, more need for food, or let's say industries, etc., more housing, living conditions, and naturally the pressure will be alarming on land resources. Natural resources. Excessive consumption of natural resources would be there in order to meet the demands of increasing population. Eco-degradation. Overpopulation will cause eco-degradation by so many ways. Increasing pollution of land, air and water. Sanitation will not be easily maintained in congested areas especially. Deforestation, that is the large-scale felling of trees. There will be more into increase in soil erosion or the rising of floods, droughts, etc. Slums. Rising populations will help in the growth of slums in big cities. Like Mumbai, just now it has been talking about COVID. The hotspot Dharavi is one of the largest slums in the world. So we can see how they are problematic in the development of these slums. Unemployment, which increases with an increase in population because of poor or lack of educational facilities and job opportunities. In 2004, there were around 2 crore unemployed that were with the employment exchange of India. So this leads to naturally crimes and lawlessness in a country. Standard of living. People have poor standards of living with large number of populations to sustain. Infrastructure. Will be more demand for drinking water, housing, transport, educational institutions, etc. And finally, the last one, energy crisis, that people all over the world, naturally because India will be causing that crisis first, for fuel wood, fossil fuels, electricity, etc. due to rapid industrialization and urbanization. So we definitely can see and understand that we must do something as population is no more just a national problem but a global problem and must be checked by some important method immediately. So this is what we have, children, till now. Let's see quickly what all things we have done. In the new lesson today, I started with these abbreviations. This should be by heart, children. You must learn them. Then with all these terminologies, their meanings, very simply written and explained, you should be able to go through any problems you may understand and you may ask me anytime. Then these are the point-wise, let's say, headings about various problems related to reproductive health, strategies related or rise or reasons for high population growth, consequences, that means results of overpopulation, and various Indian figures and the world figures, right? Our next topic will be about various methods of contraception in detail. Just now I am giving you these notes, children, but my next class I'll be starting with the explanation from contraception. But I am giving you these notes. Please copy down all these in your registers up till over here. This is about gender determination, how father only is held responsible for the birth of children. Like male, he has heterogametic formation. These are the sex chromosomes X and Y, and female gives X and X. So this is the Punnett square showing 50% probability, 1X and 1X, this Y and this X. We know it already, children. So 50% for probability for girl child and 50% for boy child. And it is only and only father, as we see, is responsible for the gender of the child, not the mother. And how is it that which X will fuse or which Y will fuse with the mother is only a matter of chance, right? So these figures we've already seen that China's population 1.4 billion, India's is 1.3 billion, and how in 2024 India will overtake or surpass China in the number of population. Next time, children, we'll be starting with this very important topic about methods of contraception. So I hope you've understood today's class. I'll also send you the textbook pages along with these. Kindly go through. The lesson is simple. I hope you will be, and very short, children. Purposely we are doing because things will be systematically done through notes and learning. Alright, so chapter is very interesting, simple and very short. Keep learning, children. Any problems, feel free to ask. Thank you.